fam, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a full moon reading for you. So our next full moon is on November the 30th. So a full moon, what is it? So a full moon is basically when you are supposed to release things. So the things that you are actually going to release. So what we normally do on a full moon is we release energy in order to bring in new energy when we have a new moon. So our last new moon was on October the 16th. So today we are going to see actually, no, I take that back. The last new moon we had, so the last new moon that we had was on, okay, so remember that the last new moon that we had was November the 12th. So in that reading, we looked at what the angels, what the ascended masters wanted us to be aware of and to focus on into manifesting and bringing something in new. Now we're going to look at number one, what have we manifested and what do we need to release this full moon on November the 30th in order to make way for something new when we get a new moon in December. All right. So for those of you that are new, my name is Eileen. Welcome to my channel. I'm an intuitive angel guide, a spiritual advisor, and an intuitive coach. I provide you with guidance, wisdom, and inspiration every week right here on this channel. So please be sure that you subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We truly love to see those. Give us a comment down below and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I drop new content. Without further ado, let's get into today's full moon reading. All right, guys. Okay, so just to let you all know, I have pre-shuffled. You all are aware that that is what I normally do. In case you are wondering, I do take jumpers from the pack. I do not like to select my own cards, and this is going to be a general reading for the collective. So it might not resonate with everyone. I ask that you just take with you what you want and leave the rest behind. So let's get into it. What do the angels and the ascended masters want us to be aware of this full moon, November the 30th? So we're going to draw 6 cards. And when I actually get to the reading, I'm going to tell you what each card represents because there are specific questions for this draw. So, okay. All right. So what does the full moon have to offer us this coming November the 30th? For full moon, November the 30th. Full moon, November 30th. November the 30th, full moon. Angels, ascended masters, what do you want us to be aware of? What do you want us to bring into our awareness? Whoa, I'm not taking that whole deck. And one fell on the floor. Okay, all right. Let's try this again. What do you want us to be aware of this full moon, November the 30th? What do you want us to be aware of this full moon, November the 30th? What do you want us to be aware of this full moon, November 30th? What do you want us to be aware of this full moon, November 30th? Do you want us to be aware of this full moon, November the 30th? Thank you. All right, 3 more. Please, 3 more, please. What do you want us to be aware of this full moon, November 30th? What do you want us to be aware of? Okay. Okay. All right. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so first card up. This is going to represent what you have created and manifested since the new moon. Okay, so the last new moon was on November the 12th. So what we have is the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands speaks about success. Actually achieving and accomplishing a goal, and you being praised for it, you being recognized for it, you being applauded for that. So maybe some of you within the collective were actually looking at being successful or accomplishing a goal. And that is what you've actually created and manifested. You might not actually be seeing it right now, but know that you have done that. And you're going to start getting the recognition and the praise for it. Maybe it'll be at work. Maybe it'll be within the community. Maybe for some of you, it could be success on a like in a platform of some sort, whether it's actually YouTube and a podcast, or whether it's because I sort of somehow feel that this is like, notice how she's like on a stage and it's like she had just gave a performance and now she's at the end taking a bow. So a lot of you were looking at accomplishing something, and so now you have manifested that. Next up, we have the Four of Swords, and this is where the collective is now. So the Four of Swords really speaks about rest. So a lot of people, and this does not surprise me, right? So if a lot of you were actually manifesting or creating success or accomplishing a goal or feeling accomplished or being recognized for something amazing that you've done, that means you've actually done a lot of work. And so now what you need to do is you need to recuperate, you need to rest, you need to sort of replenish that which you've given, and allow yourself time to heal and to prepare for the next adventure, right? So where the collective is now is really you sort of taking that time for yourself, doing something that helps rejuvenate your spirit. Whether you take a cruise, whether you go to the beach, whether you go camping, you spend some time in nature, allow yourself the time to rest. Because if you've truly been working really hard in creating and manifesting something, you need to have a balance between work and rest. So that's important that you take that time for yourself to recuperate and to prepare yourself for the next adventure when it comes. Okay, so then the next step we have is what is coming into the conscious awareness. So what is coming into your conscious awareness? And we have the Nine of Pentacles. And I absolutely love this, because if you've truly been working hard at trying to accomplish a goal or completing a goal or being successful at something, then you're now sort of reaping those rewards. You're starting to see them. You're starting to see it fully formalize in front of your eyes, and you're starting to recognize it, and you're truly grateful and you're happy. Notice how happy she is. Notice how she's sort of observing. These are all of the things that you've accomplished, that you've been so successful at, and you're observing them and you're grateful. You're coming from a place of gratitude, and you're recognizing that you have value, that you have worth, and you're truly happy. And that is what is truly coming into your awareness. You're starting to see the fruits of your labor. You're starting to see that you're accomplishing things, even if it's little by little. And it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Notice how these pentacles, they're of different sizes. You must learn to be grateful for every accomplishment that you've achieved, whether it's small or big, okay? Then we have what is no longer serving. What is no longer serving you? So what we have is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man really speaks about you surrendering, okay? So I sort of feel that what this sort of brings into our awareness right now is that if it's sort of what is no longer serving us, The hangman sort of puts himself in that position. The hangman actually puts himself in that position because he wants a different perspective. The hangman wants to be able to view things from a much different perspective than he normally would, right? And maybe what's no longer serving you is a sense of self-sabotage, right? Or are you holding on to something that you know you need to let go of, but you actually refuse to let go of it? Maybe you're being stubborn, or maybe you're just being a martyr in this particular situation. So maybe if this is in the position of what is no longer serving you, maybe you need to sort of start being a little bit more observant. Okay, notice how her head right here is illuminated, right? This means that she's utilizing her intuition and she's viewing things from a different perspective. Maybe you need to be very clear and maybe observant and very honest with yourself about the situation. You know, if you truly aren't willing to give yourself time to rest and recoup, maybe you need to be honest with yourself about that. Maybe you need to not be so stubborn. Maybe you need to really recognize that there has to be an equal balance of things, right? So really take into account what is no longer serving you that you now need to sort of let go of in order to make way for something bigger or better in your life. Because you have to recognize that you can't hold on to everything. Not everything is going to serve its purpose. There are things, there are situations, there are experiences that come into our lives, especially when it comes to individuals. There are individuals that come into our lives to serve a specific purpose. And once they've fulfilled that purpose, it is time for us to let go of it in order to make way for a new person to come in that is then going to help us grow and expand and further our success. Okay? So how can you release and let go of those energies? All right, we have the 5 of Swords, okay? So how can you release and let go of your stubbornness or your perceived perceptions of what you're not willing to fully let go of or truly recognize, right? With the 5 of Swords, it really speaks about recognizing that be very careful that you're not really self-sabotaging yourself to the point that you sort of look at that there's sort of an unfair advantage to what it is that you're truly trying to receive. Recognize that every experience teaches you a lesson. And no matter what, you're always going to learn something. There is always a lesson in it for you, okay? It's about recognizing that sometimes you have to experience the loss in order to understand fulfillment or gratitude. You have to be able to build your confidence, right? Because notice how in this picture, right, that we have this individual here, he seems confused. He's not as confident. And then you see this person back here, right, in the background who looks like he's celebrating for something. But then you see sort of like blood spatter down at the bottom, right? Is there an unfair advantage in this situation or in this experience that you sort of feel like you're being deceived in some way? Or are you lacking the confidence to see your own worth and your own value? I think that's truly important. I'm going to read you what it says in the book because I think that's important. Okay, so what the 5 of Swords says: you may have experienced an unexpected loss that has left you a little bit sore. Okay, now this is what can you release? Okay, so maybe this is feelings that you're needing to release. Okay, sometimes life isn't just fair and these inequalities can drain our energy for much longer than they need to. Often it's the fear of failure that does most of the draining. If you're feeling outsmarted or outjousted, remember that one chapter doesn't define you. Wins and losses are both a part of the human experience, and the keys of self-improvement lie dormant inside the difficulties. So again, don't look at the downside of everything, okay? When it comes to a full moon, what it's really asking us to do is be willing to really take hard, long looks at every situation, every experience, every individual in our life, all of the emotions, and really look at it and say, what is it in this that this taught me? What did this experience teach me? What did this person teach me? What is it that I learned from this, from having experienced this? What have I gained from it? And what do I need to let go of? Okay. And then the last card that we got is what additional resources are available for the collective as they release and let go. We got the Page of Cups, okay? So the Page of Cups really talks about you being open to receiving, recognizing that emotion that you have within you about having everything that you have, that you are fully. There's an affirmation with this that says a flourishing oyster. So I'm going to read you what it says. Because I really feel that you have to come from a place of excitement, right? You have to, when it comes to what additional resources are available for you, when I view the Page of Cups, I really view it as opportunities. I view it as dreaming the impossible, dreaming the big dream, giving yourself permission to dream and to sort of flourish in a way that you would otherwise not give yourself permission to do, okay? And the affirmation with this is, the world is my flourishing oyster, and I'm excited to see what happens next. So really pay attention. Are you missing the signs? Are you not really paying attention to what Spirit is truly giving you? Are you really not paying attention, right? Are you blocking yourself from being open creatively to dreaming the big dream, right? Are you just not motivated, right? I guess those are the biggest questions. If those are additional resources, if Spirit is truly giving you signs, they're talking to you in, whether they talk to you in numbers or, actually have that conversation with Spirit and say, I need confirmation. I need you to validate this for me. I need you to send me a bird, or I need you to send me a butterfly, or have that conversation with Spirit and allow them to truly give you the signs, but be open to receiving them. That is the important thing, is that you have to be open to receiving them. Be observant, be willing to be creative, and don't just try to look at it from one perspective. Be open to seeing it in many different ways. Okay? So that is what the full moon has to offer us. I do want to draw two oracle cards to see what additional information comes through for this full moon on November the 30th. I really do love this. I think this is really about you. Number one, if you've truly been successful, you've accomplished a goal, you've allowed yourself to sort of revel in that stage of success. Now give yourself the time to sort of recuperate, recharge your batteries in order to prepare yourself for the next adventure that comes along the way. Be grateful for every single accomplishment that you've achieved, even if it's something as minor as, I actually, washed all the dishes. Whatever it might be, no matter how big or how small that accomplishment is, be grateful and acknowledge it. Simply acknowledge it. Be willing to put yourself in a different position and be willing to observe yourself in a very different way. Allow Spirit to illuminate your mind, and, you know, don't self-sabotage yourself. Sort of, you know, self-sabotage can come in many different ways, but sort of, you know, when you can surrender your need to control the outcome of everything, you get so much more information and so much more guidance when you just completely surrender your control to that. Recognize that every loss and every win teaches you something. No matter what occurs, no matter what situation or what experience you encounter, you are always going to learn something, okay? And last but not least, be open to receiving the guidance. Be open to dreaming. Be open to be creative and allow Spirit to sort of guide you, and be willing to dream the big dream, no matter how crazy it might sound, no matter how. What I love about the Page of Cups is that you'll notice that there is a pig on here that has wings. And you know how oftentimes when we say things like, yeah, when pigs fly, why not? My simple question to you is, why not? It's okay to dream. That's how you become creative. That's how you sort of allow yourself and you give yourself permission to dream. So let's see what other additional messages the angels have for us for this full moon, November the 30th. What additional messages do you have for the collective for this full moon, November the 30th? What additional messages do you have for the collective this November 30th? What additional messages do you have for the collective for the full moon on November the 30th? What additional messages do you have for the collective this November 30th? What additional messages do you have for the collective for this coming full moon, November the 30th? What additional messages? November the 30th. What? Okay, thank you. One more, please. Thank you. Ah, I love this. Okay. All right. So first card up, we have devotion. Okay. So this really talks about devote the time to yourself. Be willing to see yourself of great value and of great worth, and make a practice, make it a ritual, do something for yourself that truly connects you with Spirit. So devotion really speaks about the things that you do to help devote you to a higher power. You know, I always have a particular ritual and a particular practice of what I do, and it's my devotion to Spirit, and it's also my devotion to myself. It's how I honor myself. I honor the Spirit and the essence within me when I do those practices. So for you, it might be, you know, when you're actually putting yourself and rejuvenating and you're recuperating and you're recharging your batteries, maybe what works for you is, maybe it's, you know, coloring a mandala, doing some painting. Maybe it's taking a peaceful meditation. Maybe it's going to the beach and just listening to the waves and being with the water. Whatever it is that helps you connect to Spirit, that is your devotion to time with you and Spirit, okay? And then next we have stillness, okay? Stillness really speaks about giving yourself the time, right? You're devoting time to yourself and to your higher growth and your higher learning by allowing time to just be still, to be quiet, to be observant, to just listen. You find great knowledge and great insight when you just set aside time to just be quiet and to be still. You don't have to actually be doing something in order to receive the guidance or the wisdom. Sometimes just being in still quiet helps deliver so many messages to you. And again, this truly speaks about the Page of Cups, right? So if we know that the Page of Cups is our additional resources, You know, when you can when you devote time to yourself and you devote time to spirit, they will literally flock so much knowledge and insight to you to help you release and move in order to move you in the direction that you're truly wanting to go. So that is the message of this full moon, November the 30th. I hope that you got lots of great, amazing pieces that will help you expand your awareness and your consciousness and help move you in the direction that you're wanting to go and help you become the person that you're truly meant to become. So I thank you for joining me today, and we will catch up next time. Namaste, guys.